details. How does this work? I thought I could do it from here. I can't. Okay, I should have done this before I streamed then. Fantastic. Let's quickly edit the details. What do I call my Sunday streams? Sunday chill? Monday hangout week, yeah, Sunday chill. Sunday chill. Ooh, I've messed up a little. Sunday chill. Colouring and chatting. Let's do a little just... that's what I meant to do. Just a chatting. Done. Hello everybody. Well, this is a bit different, isn't it? Let's do a quick mic check. Make sure it's all set up because it is a new setup. Yeah, sounds about right to me. Can I move this a little closer? It's a bit clearer, but I think that's about right. Let's pop a little chat in. Join me for some colouring. A chat or a cover. Alrighty. Hello there everyone. Rats, that's what I was supposed to do. I completely forgot I was supposed to be doing a little bit of adjustments. Where are my stream? Is it that I'm looking for? Channel? Where are your extensions? That's what I need to be adjusting. Completely forgot. Whoopsie. Oh god. Sorry, this is experimental because it is my first ever just chatting stream. Settings. Let's have a little look. How do I turn off his ability to do this? I can't remember. Nope, that's not it. I could have sworn it was in settings. Unless it's not. I could have sworn it was in settings. I mean, hey, if I can't figure it out, then we just won't do it. Rats. You guys are gonna have to just bear with me. Okay, this is I'm new to this. How to stop. I don't want its idle things. That's not what I want to do. Maybe I just change its idle settings to be perhaps every 30 minutes. Oh, I can just turn them off. I don't want to be off completely, but let's change it to 30. Well, I'm not sure if that's particularly done anything. I won't lie to you. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's do a little bit of an introduction. I probably should... Hello guys, it's me, Val, from The Retreat, and we are doing something a little bit different today, as you might have figured out. So today marks our first ever non-gaming stream, now that I have all my lovely new setups. I'm very excited about that. Don't worry, it's not going to be this wobbly handheld thing the whole time. So today we are going to be doing something pretty chill, pretty relaxing. Let's make sure that's in the right place. I think that's a decent... You can see the edge of my laptop and all my bits, but it's fine. So we're going to be doing... No, that's not in the right place at all, is it? I think you need to be looking up. Oh no, because you need to see the table. Colouring is the point. We're going to be doing some colouring. We're going to be having a little natter. It's going to be relaxing. It's going to be chill. These are not in the right order. I need to put them in the right order. I've got this lovely new Art Therapy geometric colouring books. It's got some really pretty and quite detailed. I didn't realise they were this detailed pictures in, so we're going to be doing that. And then potentially I may do, okay, so I got this for my birthday. It says it's for kids and adults on the back, or on this front page somewhere. It says, wait, I swear somewhere it said, perfect for kids and adults. But I am pretty sure this is a kid's book because you can see how simple the drawings are. The reason I have this, one, I might do some of it, it's pretty chill, but it comes with something I've never seen before in a book, and I think that's really cool, a test page. A lot of the colouring books I have don't have these. So I've got 24 pens, there was only 20, so that's why a couple of these have multiple colours. And essentially what I'm going to be doing, once I've got my pens back in order, because they're out of order, then that way if I want a specific colour, I can refer to this, which I think is pretty handy. So I'm going to just keep this open next to me. It's going to be behind the camera, so you guys can't see it, but it's going to be there. So I just need to put these pens in order. Luckily, you got this on the front, and it is mostly in order, I'm pretty sure. But we are going to have to just take them out. So if I kind of slide them out, I think if I slide them out this way, then there's still going to be, because I think 90% of them are in the right order, there's just a few. So if I kind of slide them out like this. Oh, it's slipping off the table. It's rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And then see if I can put them back in. Right. So if I kind of hold this up and then I can put them in. So we've got the black one and the grey one right at the very end. Actually, is it better? It's probably better if I line them up like this and then I can transfer them. So we've got the black and the grey one at the very end. I don't really know how to do this. Then we've got the dark purple and this pink. Wonderful. Then the blues, right, see the shade of blues look like this. The blue pens look like this. Now, do you see a small problem? Pretty sure these are not really the same shades. Those are three very dark hues. These are not very dark, so, but I'm pretty sure it goes this one. That one is a slightly lighter blue, so I'm pretty sure it's this bluey purple. Then back to that one, then it's a very light blue, and then it's almost a greeny, which this one's definitely got more green than that one. But then, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no other blue pen. That's got to be the dark one. That's got to be the light. It's got to go in that order. 100%. It's a little bit awkward though. Anyway, sorry about that. So once we've got these in order, yeah, that one's definitely greeny. So we're up to here, and then we've got the actual greens. But again, this one's a bluey green. It seems to go really green, then a lightish blue again. Then this, and then very green. But that's a very dark green. That's not very dark, is it? So is it this way? No. So that's this one. Definitely this one. And then it's got to go that way, but I don't think, you know, I don't think these three shades particularly match up very well, you know, really with what's there. But hey ho. Also, just in general, a couple of these are really out of place. That should not belong in the really dark. It's whoever did the colour shading. It's not fantastic. I'm sorry. So we're up to here. Then we got the yellows. And again, they're in a weird order. So you've got this greeny yellow. This yellowy yellow. Is that a helicopter outside? Yeah, sure, why not? You guys can hear a helicopter, I guess. So the greeny yellow, the yellowy yellow. We've got a yellowy orange, a reddy orange, and then a browny orange. Yellow, red, brown. So they go like that. Then we've got this weird, again, just this random one light one. And I think it's then light pink, dark pink, red. Light pink, dark pink, red. See, I think these end ones now are in the right order. Red, and then the browns like that. Okay, so starting from this side, this is the way they go in. And then that way I can cross-reference it. I know when I say it out loud, I hear how sad it sounds. Please believe me. I'm not sure I like this camera setup. You can't see my face. I wonder if there's a way that I could get my face in too. Maybe. Like if I moved it all the way back and also put it up a bit. But now you can't see any of the colouring. I think I just need two really, don't I? Or I need the camera really far away, but then you're going to see so much of my room. Which I don't mind that much, but I think for now, you're going to see the colouring. Next time I might try and get the setup on a bit of a, so that you can see. Oh, you don't need to see the mic. Oh, sorry, that may have been loud. Next time I'll try and set it up further so you can get my face in it as well, but hey ho. You can see quite a lot. And then these flipped like that. Wonderful. The only thing is, when I did the colour test, I started this end. So that's number 1 and this is number 24, which isn't annoying because you read left to right. So really it should go that way. I guess technically when the package is the right way up, that becomes the left, but it's annoying because it's not the way you read the package when you're actually colouring. That's on me. That's my fault. And then these two. Alright, and we are nearly there. Just because some of these look very different shades to what is on the picture and stuff, so by having the cross-reference, I can check and make sure that it's the shades I actually want. I guess, yeah, when I hold it up this way, that is number 1 and that is 24, but when you're colouring, it's reversed. So, we'll put our colours at the end here. Put them this way so you guys can see all my beautiful pens. And let's get started on our... I'm going to just leave it there. On this. So which one should we start with? I want to do something kind of easy. Like nice, big, blocky. That's quite big and blocky. You know, not a super intricate. Whoa, that is blocky and absolutely nothing else. Or would that be easier actually? Something that is a very repetitive pattern like that would probably be quite easy to start with, to be fair. Actually, yeah, let's start with this one then. Let me try and just crack open the book. It's a bit of a pain. I think all colouring books should have a little white margin because it annoys me that I can't get the pen properly in there and you can't really pull the book out, like the page out. If they had a little inch margin and a dotted line or something for you to rip it, I would be so much happier. To be fair, I could just cut this. No, we'll have it as a book. Have it as a book. And I'll put it this way just because it's easier for you guys to see. I think we are going to... Oh, it's got like... It's a mirrored effect. I've just spotted there's this line down the middle. And then it's mirrored on both sides. Oh, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. So it is probably best to have it this way up. I think we're going to do this in the colours of the Twitch banner. My retreat banner, which I believe is kind of a lightish blue, green. Nice blue and green, shall we say. Primarily. And I think that'll be quite nice. The light blue I'm thinking of is 17 and the light green I'm thinking of is 12 and 13. So look how this happens. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Oh. That's the blue I'm thinking of and then voila. Because this looks so much lighter than it actually looks on the page. This is the shade of blue. This is it on the page. I think that looks much darker than this does. So that's why the little guide's there. So let's get a crack in. We'll do a couple of other shades of blue too. We'll do a blue and green and then maybe some highlights of red and yellow because the little house has got a red roof. see how we're feeling. Whew. Although to be fair, each square has 1, 2, 3 rings. The big one in the middle. So maybe we do the middle one blue, then a green ring, then a red ring. Perhaps keep it really simple. I think we'll do that. Let's just keep it nice and easy, because it's still going to take ages. I just wanted to do something relaxing, something calming, nothing very stressful. It's a Sunday. I'm not in pajamas or cozy clothes, but that's fine because most of the clothes I wear on a day-to-day basis are quite comfortable. I don't, you know, I've got this nice long, you can't really see, nice long jumper on. I am wearing sloth socks, Christmas sloth socks. They've got a sloth in a Santa hat and some holly on. I will wear them all year round. I don't believe in seasonal clothes. With the few exception of perhaps a Christmas jumper or something, but certainly something like socks. No, you can wear that. You can wear that every day of the year. So I do have a couple of Christmas themed things that I will wear all year round. And I think that's fine. It's more interesting than my plain black socks I normally have. Do you have any funky socks? I like funky socks. Oh, you can just about see like my chin. Shows you how closely I'm focused on this. See, I think that's nice. I think that's, yeah. We're going to keep it easy and simple. We're probably not going to finish this anyway, are we? So, I feel like there has to be some sort of order to it though, because otherwise we're gonna, some of these bits I don't know if they are, I actually think they're just gaps between the squares. I don't think they are a square in and of itself. So that's going to be a little bit frustrating. Oh, we can do that the yellow or the red actually, can't we, as the highlight. So actually that's fine. I'm not going to do this top row because like I say, you can't get in there properly. You can't get all the way. Oh, can I get all the, actually, oh I can. Let me do the top row first then, because that's going to annoy me the most. Let's just get in there nice and close. So this is a bit of a just chatting stream, so I'm not going to be talking too much about the actual colouring compared to, I suppose, most streams where I talk a lot about what it is that I'm doing instead of just generically talking. So this one is going to be mostly me just talking about whatever, and I thought the idea with that would be quite nice because yes, this is something I have to focus on, but it's not super intense like a video game is, or can be, so I'm able to just chat to you guys about stuff. So it'll be a nice chance for us to hang out, relax, and get to know each other a bit better because I can actually talk a little bit more because I'm not as focused on whatever game it is I'm playing. But also there'll be a bit of silence, moments of silence and quiet, so if you want to just chill, turn this on low in the background, you can do that. Oh, and I'm not going to be upset. That's what the whole point is. Put it on low, speak in a nice gentle voice, and then we can both be happy, can't we? Lovely. Just get the blue all up the top here. So let me tell you about my week. I think, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Work's been hell. It's just been boring. I have a boring job. And I know everyone goes, oh, I've got a boring job. No, I have a boring job, okay? I do quite literally the exact same stuff every single day. It's not an exaggeration. That is literally just what the job is. So production. It's a mix of production and quality assurance and admin. It's a mix of things. It's marketing. I work for, I don't want to give too much away, especially because it can be, not legally or anything, but like it can be considered a bit of a grey area by Google. But I work in SEO marketing and I do the production and quality assurance. Right, there we go, got all the blue at the top done. So it is literally just producing the same things day after day after day, which, like I say, is very, very boring. And most of the time I don't mind, especially if we have interesting clients and we put music on and, you know, it's a really good team. As much as the work is boring, the team and the company definitely make up for it in abundance. They're lovely, they're so full of energy. So nice to chat to. And we do loads of company things too, which is really cool. So in terms of that, no complaints there. But, you know, it is kind of monotonous. So I don't normally mind a huge amount because I like repetition though, as evidenced by the fact I'm colouring just this whole thing. But it can get a little boring, and this week it has, because we've not had interesting clients. We've had difficult clients who we've already placed like a gajillion orders for, and we're struggling to come up with something new, and it's difficult. Without going into the exact semantics of how my job works, which I'm not going to do, I will bore you, and it's also just not, like, we're just not doing that. It's kind of hard to describe specifically what difficult client means, but just know that it's not fun. You're kind of stuck on the same order. An order should take, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and you'll be stuck on the same one for sometimes 40 minutes, you know, trying to get it done, and there'll be 30 in that package to do. So very time consuming, very boring, lots of back and forth between me and the managers where we're like, let's try a different angle, or let's try different pricing, let's try different grades, let's, you know, what can we fudge around a bit to still give them what they want, but in a slightly different way to make our lives easier. Which is great. I appreciate that they'll do that, and I can just read it out to my manager and say, hey, this is not happening. You know, I've given it my best shot, but I've been here 30 minutes. What can we do? And most of the time the answer is something. You know, it's very rare they come back and go, that's, you know, that's what we've got. Figure it out. So, you know, but it is just, it's boring, and it has been a boring week doing that. It's got to be done though. It's got to be done. As well as that, one of the tools we use a lot of AI at work. That's probably my biggest gripe, to be honest, about the job. More than anything else, I hate how much we use AI. I understand why, because there's a lot of repetition, so if we can automate and eliminate that, you know, why wouldn't we? But I'm a big AI hater. So generative AI, which is what we use, not chatbots and stuff, because, you know, I do know the difference, but we use a lot of generative AI, and I hate it with a passion. So I don't love that. But, you know, one of the tools has been really playing up this week, and that has also made it difficult because the orders that would normally take 12 minutes are taking, you know, 20, 30, 40 to do, because this tool is just not doing what we need it to do. It's spitting out garbage. We're having to refresh it, and just, you know, keeps kicking us out of the account. It's been difficult, but we persevere. We got it done. You know, my numbers haven't been atrocious. We have been getting it done. And at the end of the day, that's what a team is all about. Because if I'm struggling, you know, at least other people are too, and we're kind of all in it together. And like I say, it has to be done, so we can't exactly just quit and not do it. So that's made this week difficult. And then on top of that, on a personal level, I've been in so much pain all week. It's not even funny. I've probably popped 2 packs of ibuprofen this week, and some Pain Relief Plus, because my local Aldi rarely stocks paracetamol. It always sells out so fast compared to the ibuprofen, but what they do usually have left is the Pain Relief Plus, which is paracetamol and caffeine. I don't really like keeping just that in stock. I prefer to have paracetamol and maybe 1 or 2 of those, but that's what I've been having because that's all they had. So it is what it is. This is coming along nicely. It's very pretty. But no, so my leg last maybe Thursday, I think it was, as in a week and a half, not 3 days ago. Near the end of the workday, and I don't know if it's because I'm sat funny, I don't know if it's because my chair hurts, I genuinely don't know what the problem is. But my leg, my right calf muscles just locked up. It was, so painful. I could barely walk, to be honest, because I couldn't straighten that leg, I couldn't bend it, I just couldn't move it at all, really. Anything and everything I was doing hurt. I had hot water bottles on it around the clock. Like I say, ibuprofen, try and reduce the swelling. Anything I could think of to get these muscles to relax. I'm just going to pull my sleeves down and see if that looks visually a little bit nicer. I think it does a little bit. So that was really unpleasant. So because of that, I had to miss my Saturday exercise class. I do pole dance, which is really fun. I'll circle back to that because it's great. And I had to skip that because obviously by Saturday it eased off a little. I could kind of hobble a bit around and I was able to do some gentle stretches without it being too sore, but definitely not enough to do a full exercise class for an hour. That would have been awful. So I skipped it, and my makeup class was Wednesday. And by kind of Tuesday, it had eased off, a lot. It was the first time I was able to actually sleep properly in about a week because I was in so much pain that it was some nights waking me up. The one night I woke up at 4:30 because it just hurt so much. I couldn't get back to bed for about an hour because I could not get the pain to fade enough from my muscle to actually get to sleep. It was too distracting. So Monday, Tuesday, it started to ease off. So I thought, right, I'll go to this Wednesday class, but I'll be just gentle because I'm aware I'm injured. And also at that point, all my other muscles have been overcompensating all week. So they're now starting to hurt. Nowhere near as bad, but because I've been walking funny, all my other muscles are, not working the way they're supposed to be. So it's just a nightmare all round, really. But whatever, I go Wednesday and I think I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to take it nice and easy. Did I? Heck. My leg was fine. You know what wasn't fine? My arm. Holy guacamole, it hurt. We were doing handstands. I don't have a huge amount of arm strength, so I'm, hands on the floor. And this one just gives away. Fully halfway there, just collapses out from under me. Luckily, I had a safety mat and I wasn't super far from the floor, so there was no specific injury, from falling. But I've definitely pulled something kind of in the upper bit of this arm. So that was super handy. So that's been sore. But hey, whatever, it's been fine, right? So Saturday, as in yesterday, then rolls around, which is when my class normally is supposed to be, and I go, cool, let's go. I'll be careful on my arm, but my leg feels fine. We'll take it easy, no sweat. So, to be honest, I probably shouldn't have gone. I just didn't want to skip another one because I love the class. The issue is that it's 10 a.m. on a Saturday. It kills my whole day. It's a very inconvenient time. Even if it was just an hour earlier, would be slightly better. My ideal would be maybe 8 o'clock, perhaps, because then I could be home, dressed, washed by perhaps 10 at the latest. Because if you want to do a day out or just do anything on a Saturday, it just, it finishes at 11. By the time I'm home and showered, it's about 12. At that point, I'm probably ready to eat lunch. So I'm not really ready till 12:30 to do anything. It's very inconvenient. But anyway, that's when it is. So I go there and I'm like, let's just be careful. But I didn't want to skip another one because I've skipped a couple lately. And obviously I do pay for them. So, don't want to be losing that money because I can't always get makeup classes available. And I really shouldn't have gone. Within about 10 minutes, this arm is functionally useless because it's flared up again from whatever I've pulled on Wednesday. So I couldn't really do anything because I only had one arm. And I'm not strong enough to be doing really a huge amount of one-armed stuff. So it was kind of a bit of faffing. But hey, I get home. My arm's a bit sore because I've pulled it a little bit before I decided to just ease off. But overall, it's fine. It's the first day I'm in, I'd say, minimal pain in a while. And then I went to a reenactment yesterday, which, don't get me wrong, was super fun. Have you ever been to a historical reenactment? They're awesome. Oh my god, you should totally go. Again, I'll loop back around to that. So, and the battle lasted an hour, and then there's a half-hour kind of wait beforehand, and you're just stood in the cold, not moving. So I have got the worst case of, I think it's shin splints. I'm not sure, because I think that seems a bit dramatic. I don't think it's that sore, but I don't know. It is very sore. Both of my legs, the front of my shin, those muscles, super painful. When I'm walking, if I sit funny and pull them, when you kneel, even just doing this, putting my legs up onto my toes, I can feel pulling all these muscles. If I just touch the skin here too much, the muscles is sore. So I think it may be shin splints because that's been for a day now and it's not particularly eased off. So yeah, that's been, you know, a week and a half now of some form of injury or pain. Don't get me wrong, some of it's a little bit my fault, but even so, it's been rubbish and unpleasant, and it's just made everything 10 times worse. So then going back to work, it's a desk job, so I'm not even getting some gentle movement to ease my muscles every hour or whatever. It's just flipping sore. It's just sucked on so many levels. It has just sucked. This is coming along nicely. Really nicely. It's only one half, and then we've got to do the other half. But I think this will probably be the easiest one to do because it's the middle. The layer after that, we're going to have to be careful to not go over the blue that we've already done. So I actually think this will probably be the quickest one to do, even though I think it's the biggest. I'm not totally sure. Statistically, I meant mathematically, I don't actually know if it is the biggest. It looks it, but that is not always the same thing. Either way. So yeah, I am still quite in a lot of pain. I've been taking some ibuprofen for the muscles, put some heat on it. I'll do some again after we finish up here. So that has kind of sucked, to be honest with you. Not very pleasant week for me. This is coming along lovely. Really, really pretty. I think that's a middle square. Well, that is a middle square there. I like this colour. I don't know when I got these colouring pens. A while ago. I just don't use them that much, to be honest. I have some colouring pencils too. I don't use pencils as much because they're a lot more work. I was thinking next Sunday we might do some cooking together. And then I will also crack out the colouring because I don't think the cooking will take an hour and a half. I guess it depends what I make. Could always... I don't know. I'll have a think. I can't remember what I've brought this week to actually have for tea. Whoops. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be just what I'm having for tea though. I could be making it a day in advance or something, couldn't I, for Monday? Oh, and then I wouldn't have to cook Monday, which would be wonderful. 2 birds, 1 stone. Efficiency is kind of my thing. That's so lame. Right, there were 2 topics I said I was going to loop back around on. Oh yeah, pole and reenactments. Pole, I've been doing that for I think 18 months now. Oh my god, let me tell you, it is a full body workout. Holy moly. You ever want to do some exercise, take a flipping pole class. They make it look so much easier than it actually is because you engage so many muscles at once. You've got your core, your legs, your arms, and not just certain parts of your arm, your whole thing. You know, should be like, oh, this one's an elbow grip, so you're suddenly engaging your elbow muscles perhaps, or, you know, you go in, you're using your feet. I have some moves and you're holding yourself onto the pole with your feet. So you're basically engaging kind of your feet and ankle muscles. I don't know a huge amount of other sports where a primary workout involves strengthening your feet and toes. To be 100% honest with you. Well, I mean, obviously dance and things, but you know what I mean. It's not exactly a classic gym workout, is it? Toes and elbows. So, no, it definitely works part of your body that you're probably not expecting, and it is, I come away sore. Not just from the muscles, to be honest, though. You do hurt yourself a lot, because some of the moves pinch your skin, you get bruises, you get burns, you'll fall off stuff. My feet, oh god. When I first started doing it, they've toughened up a bit now, so they don't bruise as bad, but it is still sore. When you're climbing up a pole, you actually use your feet, not so much your legs. You put one leg kind of flat up against the pole, and then at the bottom where you've got your foot, you push that into the pole, and that's where a lot of your grip comes from. And the first few weeks that I had to do that, holy moly, I had massive bruises on the top of my feet. It was awful, from where they'd been shoved hard into a metal pole for me to, you know, cling on for dear life. It hurt so much. Now it is still sore a bit. Hey, look at that. but definitely nowhere near quite as bad. So I think I'm going to have it this way to do the rest. But it is still sore. So yeah, no, it's a hell of a workout, way more than I thought it was going to be, which is good. Definitely good. It's fun too, because that was the main thing. Tried a few different forms of exercise over the years, and there's very few that I've stuck with. The only other one that I really want to start again in the summer is tennis. I love tennis. I used to play for my school's team. We went and do competitions and stuff. I loved tennis so much, and I'm sure I still do. I'm just really out of shape for it now. But I would love to try and find a tennis club come the summer. I think the main reason that I haven't is they're quite expensive. So perhaps I might be better off just trying to find a local tennis partner. And we have 2 or 3 different sets of tennis courts where I live that you can buy a key for the year. So there'll be, say, 4 or 5 courts privately owned, and it's, I don't know, £80 for the year to have a key for 24 access. So maybe I could just find a tennis partner and we could just, do that instead. But I'm not sure. The issue is that a lot of sports I try, I don't enjoy them enough to stick with them. So, it's not consistent, because the best sport is the one that you will actually do. Not the one that is the strongest, not the one that's going to get you in the best shape, not the one that's the hardest, the one that you will actually stick with doing. For me, yeah, pole dance, I flipping love it. It helps at the class. The people are so lovely, so funny. It's really a chill vibe. Well, maybe chill is a bit of an overstatement, perhaps. Chaotic is more the word we're looking for. But I love it. And the actual thing is fun, and you get some really cool progress, because it's not like, oh, I hit a cool new number. It's like, whoa, look at this cool move I do, and you've got, a photo of you doing it, and you look really sick. And I enjoy that way more than, oh, I can run this in 20 minutes instead of 20 minutes 30, and tracking it through kind of numbers. I prefer much more non-measured progress goals, if that makes sense. I don't tend to track stuff in that regard. So that's also really nice if you prefer that sort of progress. And it makes me feel, my self-confidence has been improved a lot, because you're having to engage with your body so much more, even the parts of it that you don't specifically like, because it's a full body workout. You can't just say ignore your stomach because you don't like it. That's tough, you're using your core. You have to think about it, engage with it, look at it perhaps in photos to try and improve your form. And it really helps me become a lot more neutral in my feelings toward my body, or, well, actually a bit more positive, because it's like, whoa, maybe I don't necessarily like the look as much, but holy moly, look what I can do. Like, that's so cool. And then sometimes I'll look at it and go, oh, I don't feel very, attractive or very good. And then I'll look at a cool photo of a move I did in pole, and I'm like, whoa, I look awesome. This is, look at me. I'm sure that's not the same for everyone, but I've found it to be quite confidence boosting. And I've really enjoyed that. Because my number one advice for people struggling with their body, and it does seem very counterintuitive, but is to engage with it more. But in a way where you're focusing not so much on what it looks, but what it does. So like an exercise or something, where the point is you are having to think about it, but not focus on it, if that makes sense. I'm hoping it does to someone. So no, but the only thing is, obviously I have a few injuries at the moment. It's even sat here now, I can feel my calf muscles are tight, are painful, kind of trying to stretch them out a little bit. Like I say, I'll sit with a hot water bottle on them after we've done it. We're definitely going to get all of this done, which is pretty cool, and definitely make a good start on the greens. I don't know if we'll finish the green, because I think I'm going to have to be so much more careful, because I don't know if you can see, so the blues are these inside ones, the greens are going to be the next outer layer, and I think I'll have to be a lot more careful. These ones I can kind of just go like that, but I think because it's around, I'll have to be a bit more careful with the green. We'll see. Oh, that is a gem, okay. Right, that needs to go in the bin. Whoops, I don't know where that's come from. But in terms of non-gaming, I'm also thinking we could do, oh no, getting distracted again. Reenactments was the second topic I wanted to loop on around to. Oh yeah, I'm sure well, I guess it depends where you are. Certainly if you are in the UK, which is where I am, there's definitely going to be some historical reenactments near you. Not only do we have so many battles going on here on account of all the invading that we've done, but we are just in general a very historical country, and we love to reenact for some reason. There's so many everywhere. It's ridiculous. And I don't know if it's a thing so much in other countries. If you're from a different country, I would love for you to tell me. My head tells me it must be. There's no way we're the only country that does this to such a degree. As in, like, there's a lot, we have so many. Within a 30-minute drive, there's probably at least half a dozen near me, going on at different times of the year. But a reenactment, in case you haven't ever been, and really I do recommend it, maybe just don't go to a January one because it's freezing and it was kind of unpleasant because of that. But essentially, there's a battle that happened somewhere, and people dress up in armour and they have weaponry and they recreate it on a much smaller scale, of course, and safely. They aren't actually trying to hurt each other. While a commentator explains what is happening, gives some kind of context, facts and figures, all that type of thing. So I went to one yesterday from the 17th century. So they had, is it muskets? The kind of guns they had. They had guns and cannons. Oh my god! I will see if I can find the video for you guys. They had an actual artillery cannon, and it was functional. They know how to use these things, and they do use it. It went off. The battle went on for an hour. It went off every 3 to 4 minutes, so quite a few times. When I tell you this thing was loud, holy moly, you would be deafened. There's no way most of the people manning that did not become deaf or hard of hearing after doing that for a period of time. It was so loud. And obviously that was one. Most battles would have, at least a dozen in certain places, probably more. It was, oh my god, it was ridiculously loud. Terrifyingly loud. I've never heard one in all the ones I've gone to. Well, to be fair, I was young, so maybe I did and I've forgotten. But, oh my god, it terrified me. You can definitely imagine that if you're on the battlefield and you hear those, when you're reading a book or watching a film and they go, the cannons were booming in the background. I've never really had an appreciation for what that means and how terrifying it would be until yesterday. God, it's so loud, so much power. And like I say, that was only one. They do normally have more, but the others couldn't make it, which I'm actually glad for, because the one of them going off every few minutes was enough that I was kind of on edge the whole time. Then they had the guns, which were also quite loud. Again, films seriously underplay how loud guns are. Those things were loud, and they were firing blanks. They weren't even firing real bullets at each other, obviously. They were fucking loud. And I'm pretty sure they were slightly toned down versions because, we don't actually want to deafen the cannon was, and that was a real functional cannon. But the guns were probably slightly toned down versions, maybe, so that we didn't actually scare or deafen people. I don't know, maybe they weren't quite as powerful in the 17th century, to be fair. But they were still loud. They made you jump, So as well as that, there was a couple of bits of sword fighting with bayonet? No, bayonet is the gun with the knife on. I don't know. They had swords as well, but they had people dressed as medics that were kind of running around the field. They had pikes, 16-foot wooden pikes. Now, obviously, it was the narrator's telling you things like, in a real battle, these would have been metal tipped and you would be charging, whereas they just kind of held them in the air and charged them like that, because obviously you're not actually trying to hurt each other. Although I'm very impressed at the athleticism for them to do that for an hour, because they would run full speed. It looked kind of like a rugby scrum, except everyone's carrying 16-foot wooden poles in the air, and you're having to be significantly more careful. So, no, reenactments are incredible. And then, like I say, they have people telling you the historical context, who was in power, why they were fighting, which side won, the weather conditions, blah, 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 in the background. So it's also educational. But they're absolutely fantastic. I would say not ideal for young kids. There were a few young kids there. And I don't think they enjoyed it very much. I could hear definitely a couple near me were constantly just saying, oh my god, please say the cannon's not done. No more cannon, no more cannon. I don't want the cannon. It's so scary. They spent the whole time with their ears covered by their hands and just single-mindedly watching the cannon, not the actual battle. Because, like I say, it was so loud. And I'm saying that as a grown adult who knew what was happening and was able to kind of anticipate and prepare for it, and also was covering my ears. So for a child, you know, I think they can be a bit much. Obviously, different century ones will be slightly different. I've seen some that were proper, because this one, a lot of the people in the battle were just peasants from the local town because they were under siege. They weren't specifically trained soldiers, and they didn't really have much gear either. Some of them had armor, but a lot of them it was like, hey, we're under siege. I know you're just the local farmer, but here's a gun. Go for it. Whereas I went to a battle from... I mean, this was years ago. I don't remember the century, but whatever. It was our reenactment. And they were in proper, like, knight's gear. There was jousting. Two of the leaders were on horseback. Obviously, the horses have to be specially trained to not spook at gunfire and cannons and just all the people generally around them. And a lot of these people are combat trained professionals as well. They have to train for it because you could seriously hurt someone in some of the bigger battles where there's, say, 300, 400, 500 people. Because if you do accidentally drop your pike when you're running at someone, you know, even if it's wooden, you're going to ram into someone with a 16-foot wooden pike. It's going to flipping hurt. Or worse. And the swords are real. Probably blunt, but still real. And that one, the big one I went to, like I say, there was a couple of cavalry, like horseback cavalries. So they had to be very careful because obviously they could do some serious damage if the horses spooked and they ran over someone. But no, genuinely, if you've got any nearby, absolutely smashing day out. Really, really good. Well, not all of them are days out. This one was only a couple of hours, but a lot of them, certainly the bigger battles, may have stalls and things beforehand that you can go and see. Kind of depends. But yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. They're good fun. And knowing what to expect, I would definitely, because I kind of forgot about the cannons. And yeah, even as an adult, they did spook me a bit because they're so loud. And unless you were looking at it, because the cannon had to be one end of the battle's going on over here, the cannons have to be very far away to make sure they don't accidentally hurt someone. Now, of course, they weren't shooting real cannonballs, but they were shooting still gunfire, still an explosion. They were shooting wads of grass, not real cannonballs, but still potential to hurt someone just because they're very, very powerful. So it was kind of a better safe than sorry thing. So it was still the other end of the battle. So now that I know, I would definitely approach it slightly differently. But it's been a while since I've gone to one, but they are very good. Very, very good. What do you guys say? We have 5-10 minutes of kind of quiet while I finish this section. It's quite peaceful, isn't it, really? And we are nearly done with the blue, which is lovely. I know, I've immediately broken the whole quiet thing. I don't like to, is the issue. Especially because I'm like, if someone new pops in and I'm not talking, and you can't see my face because the camera's not incredibly set up. You know, it's a little bit antisocial, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's not the most friendly, welcoming thing in the world. That's nice. And the final one, I believe. Well, actually, let me do it all there. Pretty sure that's the final one. Look at that. So we'll slide this into place. And voila, that is all our lovely blue. So now we are going to pick a green. So I want something that, like I say, is green, similar to the Retreat logo, which is quite a bright green. I think 12 is going to be the one to go for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So it's this bright yellowy green. I know it doesn't look very bright, it is. I think this is going to be the one to go for. Because this looks quite green, almost dark, whereas on there I think it looks slightly brighter. This is the one it's... Actually no, they look pretty similar, to be fair. But I think this is the one we're going to want. So again, let's split it and go half and half. And this is going to be more awkward because you've got to go all the way around. So I think this is going to take... Oh, actually, no, let's just do the top first. Yeah. Oh, it's also just not as smooth as the blue in general to colour with. That's really not very pleasant to colour with. Oh, I don't like that. Hopefully it will smooth out as we're using it. Because that is not very nice. But I have committed now. It's definitely the right shade. It's just not very pleasant to colour with. Feels a lot sharper, whereas that one felt much smoother. Oh well. As long as it does the job. I wonder if it's dry. Maybe it's a bit dry. How do you wet the end of a pen? Do you just like take your finger and just like wet it, or no? Do a little test. Well, I don't know. It looks fine. I don't know. Maybe it just needs a minute for me to get used to it. It definitely feels pointier, which obviously it's not. They are, you know, the exact same pen, but this one just feels. I don't know. If you're someone who does colouring, I'm hoping you just know what I mean. Magically. So the question that I kind of wanted to pose to you guys, as well as colouring, my thoughts for non-gaming streams so far primarily are colouring, crafts, cooking together, so that's 3. Potentially like a study session, that would be much quieter, much less talking. We're just sat here studying. And I say I'm going to combine studying with, say, writing or just any sort of project you're working on. I suppose for you guys that could be the same as crafts, because you could also be, but for me those would look slightly different. Crafts would be a lot more chatty. And then, could I read, I don't know how the copyright works in terms of if I wanted to read a book on stream. Is that copyright protected? You know, is it not? I want to say it may be, but I don't know. I need to look into that because potentially we could do a little book club. What's not copyright protected is obviously you guys just going and reading it and then us discussing it. So we could definitely do a book club. Perhaps. But then I'm not sure. A hangout with me and Esther where we literally just talk. That would only work when I have a few more viewers. And also Esther doesn't come out yet, so that's a slight moot point there. Film nights, I would definitely like to try putting a Discord watch party together at some point. Again, I need to Google the copyrightness of that. Because I know some people who do it, but I don't know if you're really supposed to, and I don't want to get in trouble. So you can't really see it very well, can you yet? It's a very bright colour, but it is the colour of the logo. And then, oh no, we're starting here. I definitely think it'll dry slightly darker. Oh yeah, that's definitely way more inconvenient because I have to go all the way around and be much more careful. So, oh well. I feel like the red might overshadow this. I wonder if I should do the yellow of the house, perhaps instead. And then the red is the highlight. Because I feel like those, the green and blue are really the major colours here. And then red and yellow are maybe secondary, I think. So hopefully you can see that a little bit better. No, wow, that is really not showing up very well. So it's a very light colour. I think I just need to find which side of the pen is the nicest to colour with. Maybe that one. I'm not sure, it feels, like I say, kind of scratchy and not as smooth, and like I'm having to go over the same spot a few times. Which is then putting a lot of ink on the page. It'll be fine. So yeah, I kind of wanted to get your suggestions for once we got a bit of a bigger crowd going. I was thinking we could do like obviously games, so we could host a quiz night, bingo, that type of thing. You know, I could host like Jackbox that you guys can join, or a Kahoot or something. And it would just have to be, I guess, first through the door to join, because pretty sure those are limited to like 30 something people. I'm not sure if it's even possible to do it with that many people otherwise. But, you know, we'll see. Definitely. Or trivia. You could do trivia quizzes, obviously, with unlimited people. That could be fun. Not specifically through an app, just a generic, like, I find a quiz. I don't know, we could do that type of thing. I like the idea of setting up a server, like a Minecraft server. I don't know how much that costs, but I think that could be really fun. And then I could definitely host nights on there, couldn't I? Or games on there, or something. Challenges, perhaps, for you guys to complete in the week. And then maybe nights where we show off. We could host like a comedy night, and you guys could get a chance to write the jokes or something for me, perhaps. I don't know, something like that. So to be fair, for someone who started with this with I don't really know what to do for the non-gaming nights, I have listed quite a few suggestions. But I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you guys think we should be doing and what you would have fun with to really get this party started. So can you see the green a bit more now? Yeah, a little. So that's going to be the green and the blue of the retreat. And then I think the red and yellow are the other two primary colours in the logo. But I don't like the idea of doing the red on the outside. That feels like it will definitely overshadow the green. Which makes me think maybe I should do the yellow, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure yet. Luckily, I don't think we're going to finish all this green in one session, so we'll pick it up again another time and that'll be alright. I'm going to shut up for a little bit so that if you are watching this to chill, you've got at least a few minutes of peace and quiet. Music too, that's what I wanted to check, was copyrighted music. Haha, non-copyrighted music for me to use. Because on the nights like this, I could then do a silent period or just have some music quietly in the background. And I wouldn't feel the need to talk so much to fill the space. Because I just think if you come in and I'm not talking, it's quite... Anyway, shutting up now. along quite well. What do you think, guys? I think that's... It does not show up very well on the camera. It's also mostly because it's not a very good camera. That might be the next thing to sort of invest in, but I'm kind of reluctant to because it's expensive and, you know, for what? It's not something that they like probably should be saying as a streamer. I should be like, oh, of course I'm going to invest in that new kit, but you know, this stuff's expensive and if I'm not making any money off this, which I'm not, then no, I can't afford. You know, I have a decent paying job in terms of what my outgoing expenses are, sure, but I'm not dropping a couple £100 on a fancy camera either, because that's, you know, it's pricey. You'll just have to make do with this one that I brought on credit from Argos, I believe. This is an Argos one. The microphone is a... Now, it's either an Amazon special or a Currys special. It's a good question as to which one. I want to say a Currys special because I try and avoid Amazon, but then this was a few years ago and I don't know if I was avoiding Amazon then. It's crazy to think I've nearly been streaming for a year. In a couple of months I will have been. Actually, no, will I? I don't know. I know the retreat was created, you know, a while ago. It was nearly two years ago, I think. But I only started kind of consistently streaming again since I moved out. But I don't know if it was as soon as I moved out. I feel like it might have been a month or two after. So actually, no, I'm probably not anywhere near as close as I think I am when I actually say it like that. I moved in May. Even if you add on, say, 2 months before I actually consistently started streaming, that's July, so that makes it only just hitting the 6-month mark. So actually, yeah, nowhere near the first year of streaming. Whoops-a-daisy. Nice. This is nice. It's coming along well. I'm not super looking forward to... Oh, I had for tea tonight. It's delicious. It's a shame I didn't get a photo. They have these shaker chicken kits at Aldi, and it looks like a takeaway box. And there was... Firstly, there was so much chicken. It was like mini chicken nuggets, quite small. But there was loads of them. I would say at least 30. And like, yes, they were small, but even so, I would say there's at least... If you're having it on its own, fine, you probably could eat the whole box, or if you were really hungry or something. I would definitely have eaten it in 2 to 3 portions, which is what I've done. Some of it... Oh no, Ace. Oh dear. Which is what I've done. I've cooked it, and then I'll just have the leftovers for another time. Because I would not, I had it with chips and a little pizza thing, so I was not going to eat all of them. But anyway, you cook it, and then it comes with a paper bag, the shaking bag, and you put it in there. There's paprika seasoning, and you just shake it up, and then yum. To be honest, I probably didn't need to buy a kit. I thought the seasoning was something more than just plain old paprika, which I could have just put in a bag and shaken myself. But either way, it was pretty fun, and the box was kind of cool, so I'm not that upset about it. The issue is that I don't actually know if I have paprika. I don't think that's what I've got. I've got some sort of red seasoning on the side. It's not... I don't think it's spicy enough to be paprika. I think it's a pot of chicken seasoning. It's what I've been using for months. It's delicious. I use it on everything. But I don't know what it actually is. I can't remember. But based on the paprika I had today, I don't think it's that, because it was way too spicy compared to what I normally have. So I think what I've got on the microwave, that's where I keep all my spices, on top of the microwave. I don't know where else you really put them. I don't have a spice rack. Although you can buy fridge mounted ones, which I'm tempted to get. Either way, what I've got there, I think is actually just chicken seasoning. I don't think it's a paprika mix. Which is what I have kind of, to be honest, thought it was for the last 6 months. That's crazy to me that I've only moved in, I don't guess it depends how you phrase it. May, so June, July, October, November, December, January, 8 months. 8 whole months of living on my own. It simultaneously feels way longer and not that long at all. Like 8 months is crazy, and yet it also feels like I've lived on my own for ages. I'm pretty self-sufficient. I don't really get lonely anymore. I have very few moments where I'm like, oh no, what have I done? That first night, oh god, that first night was rough. I don't think I've ever actually told my mum and dad. I cried my eyes out. It took me ages to get to sleep. Oh, I was homesick, and I was... The biggest reason I was crying, I'm going to be honest with you, at home, as in my parents' house, I've always had, and I literally mean always, since I was about 6, wherever we've lived, whatever bedroom I've had, I've asked the walls to be painted a dark red, and the curtains have been dark red, and my bedding is dark red, and the theme has been kind of white and red, you know, hearts, but it's a very dark red. I don't... Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, mind my language. Oh, dear. It's not very good, is it? What I was trying to do is it's a bit darker than that red. It's a really, really deep red, and that's what I've always had. See, I'm thinking I should probably have put the camera more in that direction, because my hands are kind of in the way when I'm colouring a lot of this. But it's fine. Live and learn. So I've always had this really dark red in the bedroom. And when I moved out, obviously the walls were just white. It's a brand new flat. It's obviously not been painted. I think I am allowed to paint. I need to check. But then also, like, dark red is very difficult to cover up because it's such a dark colour. Certainly if they want me to paint it to a neutral shade again, you know. So I haven't really asked yet because I'm not actually sure if I will. But I cried because my bedroom wasn't dark red, and for as long as I have been on this earth, my bedroom has been dark red, so I cried because it wasn't my bedroom. It didn't feel like home. It wasn't red. And it still upsets me now. The colour scheme is still red in terms of my bedding and my cupboards and blah blah blah, but it's not painted red. And like I say, because it's a rented flat, I don't know if I will, because if I then have to go back to a neutral afterwards, that's going to be quite difficult. So I'm not convinced. One thing my mum suggested that I think is quite a good suggestion is that I buy dark red fabric sheets and I just pin those so it's kind of dark red, but then obviously when it does come time to move out, all I have to do is just take the fabric sheets down and not repaint the whole walls. And I do think that's quite a good idea, because it will still be red then, but it will be much easier to remove. So I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest. But I guess we'll find out. To be honest, I don't spend a huge amount of time in the bedroom, so it doesn't... Oh, my laptop is in power saving mode. Great. It doesn't bother me a huge amount because I'm not in the bedroom that much anymore. When I was at home, I was in the bedroom all the time because obviously that was my only private space. I say all the time, but you know, if I wanted somewhere to go and chill or to do anything that obviously my family weren't going to want, like watch a TV program they don't like or something, you know, it'd be up in my bedroom. So it was much more important to me that it looks and felt like how I wanted it to. Whereas now, I spend 80 to 90% of my time in the living room. To be honest, all my time in the living room. If I'm not doing something that actively requires me to be in another room, I'm in here. So it's much more important for me that this room now feels like home than the bedroom, which is why I've got the plants and obviously got Esther in here, and you know, eventually I will get, oh, that should be painted blue, coloured in blue. I've messed that up slightly. You know, but it's much more important to me that this room feels homely, which it's still in the process of. Now that I've put the posters and the pictures back up, it does feel a lot more homely. It's amazing how much just a little bit of personalisation, because I still had, sorry, I'm just stretching, I still had all my stuff in here, but I didn't have any of the little personal touches. There wasn't a plant on the cupboard, or a lamp on top of the bookshelf, or just those little things, whereas I've put all that in now, and then like I say, put some photos and things up. So it does feel a lot more personal, a lot more homely in here now. So I think that's helped massively, because this is where I spend a lot of my time. Still a couple of things I wanna update, but that's alright. This is coming along now. I'm just going to finish the greens on this half. I was right that the green is going to take a lot longer, just because it's a much more awkward shape to work with. But that's alright, we've done half. So that's pretty good, I think. And it's getting there, so if we just finish this last little section. And then, yeah, I'm not convinced that red is going to be the right choice for the outer. I think the yellow in the logo would work a little bit better because it's much lighter. I think I've got... there isn't really a yellow that's quite the yellow I want, because it's almost like a wheaty coloured yellow. It's like a pale goldeny yellow, not strictly bright yellow, but the only pen I've got is a very bright yellow, or almost like a dark gold. Well, not super dark, but like it's definitely a gold, not a yellow. Neither of those are strictly quite the colour that I'm looking for. So I'm not sure, I will have a look. Maybe the red would be good, it would be bold, it would be striking. I just want it to feel like the retreat. And I don't know if that will, because the logo does not have a huge amount of red. Is it a logo? Is it a banner? What do you call it? It's not a profile picture, the profile picture is me. Probably could do with updating, to be fair. Although I say that, I still have that top, and I still wear that top, and the controller's the same, so... Not sure if it does need updating, really. It's still pretty accurate to who I am. And what we do here. Who's to say? Well, me, I suppose, but, you know. Oh, and we are nearly done, which is honestly good for my back. I really should have thought this through a bit more. Nice. And then I'm hoping now that this is all done with the green, you'll be able to see it a bit clearer. But I'm not sure that you will until the rest of it's done. Because I think on the camera, the green and the white look quite similar. Like, there's clearly a colour there, but the green is not very obvious. Whereas looking at it like this, obviously I can see the green, you know, fine. But we'll see what we want to do next week, whether we want to do more colouring and just chatting, or maybe something else, like a bit of cooking or some studying. I do need to do the studying, to be fair. So I probably should do that. I could do half-hour studying, half-hour colour break, because I'm not going to be able to do an hour and a half of the study. And then that might work out well. Right, so that is all the green. There was one bit where I said I'd missed the blue, annoyingly. Yeah, up here. It's probably worth me just writing down the numbers on this white sheet here, just so that I remember which shades I was using. And this one is a 12, a 17 and a 12. Because that way when I come back to it, I'm going to know what's what. So let me just see if I can give you guys this little, see if you can see that. See, I think that looks much better now that it's all done, doesn't it? So it's coming together quite well. I'm pretty chuffed with that. Let's pop this back up then. Can you see me? Well, you're not really straight. I suppose neither am I, but... Hello, everyone. Whew, my back is a little bit sore now. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've had a really wonderful time doing this. It was kind of nice to do something chilled, have a little natter, maybe you guys get to know me a little bit more. So I am very excited to do this again next week. And I'm so happy that we've got this new setup that allows me to do this. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you at the retreat very, very soon. Bye bye.